access to the Gulf. We had dolphins up in front of our house the one day.
That's cool.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
TJ, which case are you here on?
Well, I got a notice for Christopher Juan Pontius.
Oh, yeah, he's got a couple things. He's got you and Sean's got one. Mr.
And
Pontius.
Maddie Allen is I'm prosecuting. Mandy Allen.
Mr. Pontius was here yesterday, but does he have two cases?
I have one case with him for driving suspended.
I have one.
Hello, John.
Oh, Your Honor.
Well, as I said, he was here yesterday, and I spoke to him, and I said, well, come back tomorrow at 1:30. So I don't know where he is now.
It doesn't take much to get me confused. I think there's only one case, but they're saying maybe there are two cases with him today.
I don't know what, I'm not sure what part TJ is here on.
Yeah, I'll tell you real quick. That's wrong.
There's an incident on December 13th of 2020.
I think that's the one I'm on. Oops.
The complaint is like the people of the state of Michigan complain on that, but
I have him for, it's December 13th, 2020 for a driving suspended.
Let me look. What's your file number, TJ?
Pulling up right now. Where the heck did it go? I just had it. I've been here. I've been to a couple different pre-trials with Mr. Pontius. Where did it go? Two 2769 OT.
2769?
Yep.
It's not in my workflow. Let's take a look here. I'm glad you're here because maybe we can resolve.
I received, my notice is dated March 5th.
Well, they write the DWLS under ticket and the drivers and the insurance under state statute. It's the same case.
Not sure.
I see a complaint got date stamped in my office yesterday with the driving suspended and the no without security.
Yeah, there's a ticket.
I mean, if Debbie wants to handle
Originally,
it for hers, that's fine.
It was, this case was set with the prosecuting attorney Timothy Reed. He failed to appear.
Mr. Reed failed to appear?
Mr. Pontius failed to appear. Then,
He got picked up by Officer Kreitz in January and got a felony charge out of that whole incident. And so I think this one just has been kind of tagging along.
well, this is Timothy Reed. Then you guys, prosecutor, filed a formal complaint. 12/13.
Yeah, our
That's where I got
complaint
confusion.
has count 1, operating suspended, count 2, operating
Yeah,
without
you
security.
guys usurped the ordinance.
We snatched your case right out of your hands. Sorry about that.
That's fine. I mean, that happens from time to time when it gets to that point. And Mr. Pontius has been like a bad penny here for us. He just keeps showing up on my docket, and he
Well,
could have
he was-
taken care of this a long time ago. But
Well, he was quite cordial when I spoke to him yesterday.
always
And,
is.
and I said, well, come back tomorrow and we'll deal with this.
And before Mr. Bush got involved, he did contact my office, and he and I did have some conversations about resolving the case. I mean, he's always polite and always courteous to. I mean, he was very, pleasant to deal with.
Tell that to Officer Kreitz.
Well, I think it depends on what's in what chemicals are floating around the system when you're dealing with them.
Well, TJ, because we have the felony
Take it.
case open.
You just do what you want to do.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to take this so that the city gets any
Okay.
fines if he
Equate
gets
to that,
paid.
dismiss the insurance case.
Yeah, and
do that.
we'd want it directed though to City of Sturgis
Yep.
instead of county.
We're good. I'm good with that.
That was an oops on my part when I authorized that complaint.
Okay.
I didn't realize that one was under ordinance.
And it's not a big deal. It happens from time to time, but a lot of times what the officers will do on their tickets is they'll bifurcate it, and they'll issue the ticket for the
Yes.
one and go complaint warrant on the other one. So,
Because I think it's my signature on the complaint.
we'll blame you. It's okay.
Sure. Hey man, I'm new. Doing my best.
Hey, man.
Don't tase me, bro. Okay.
Let me
So
call him up, see where he is. I might have maybe told him 2
Please
o'clock.
leave your message for 26968999100.
This is Judge Middleton calling for Christopher Pontius. I spoke with you yesterday. You logged in a day early for your pretrial. Today is the time and date, Thursday, April 15th at 1:30. So we're here waiting for you to log in. Thank you.
So does April Fool's legislation cover if you call in a date before you're supposed to appear? Or is it only if you show up the day after you appear that you get the grace of the court?
Well, right now you have to do 48 hours under the new legislation.
what about when people get confused because there's, leap year? Should probably factor that
Well, I
in.
had John's case last week. The guy calls in the next day and said, hey, it's so frustrating. That's why I call people up. It's such a hassle to do the show cause and do the bench warrant and pick them up. And if they haven't absconded or they're just negligent, then
It's a pain for defense counsel too. We have to get it all rescheduled. I mean,
yes.
it irritates
yes.
everybody.
Your client's calling you trying to say, well, hey, I don't want to go to jail. So we started calling them up. We're going to have prosecutor drive over to their house starting in May and just
Dave,
knock on
not
the door.
me, just Dave.
We joke about it, but when people miss court in the morning, I tell my secretary, well, the phone calls will start coming in this afternoon. I just opened up my mail.
Yeah. Well, and so many people have a phone that they don't have their voicemail set up, or that it doesn't belong to them anymore. So we're in hurry up and wait. Is there anything we can do while we do wait?
I think he wants me to file a motion to dismiss under the lack of reasonable suspicion to make the stop. He sent me kind of a complicated letter about that. If we set it for a bench trial, we could probably do it all in one fell swoop and the court could hear it all and make the decision.
Well, if he'll agree to that, that would be.
I don't know that he would, but.
Now, Danielle Gerard is your case, John. That's being dismissed.
I know she doesn't want to show up. Is it actually dismissed yet? She's waiting to hear from me that you signed the nally press.
Casey gave that offer, and I'm not sure if the nally is done yet. Let me look.
I hesitate to tell anybody not to show up until I see the signed nally press.
It's marked as a nally in ours, but I don't see the actual document.
I have a copy of Casey's, but I don't have one with the judge's signature.
Yeah. So you have the one that Casey signed?
Yes.
Here's Mr. Pontius.
I don't even have the one that Casey signed.
Or maybe I'm mistaken. I know Casey sent it, but I'm pretty sure I have Casey's. Now I cross waiting for the judge's signature.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pontius. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. You were here yesterday early, and I said better a day earlier than a day late. This is the time and date for the last pretrial conference in your case. It's file 202769ST. Case is kind of in a strange posture. They charge driving suspended under Sturgis City Ordinance, and no insurance has to be charged under state law. So Timothy Reed is here on behalf of the City of Sturgis, and Deborah Davis is here on behalf of the County of St. Joseph. Your attorney, Mr. John Bush, is here. The prosecutor had offered to dismiss the no insurance charge, which is the 1-year misdemeanor, for a plea to the ordinance case of driving suspended. And I don't know whether that offer had been conveyed. Mr. Bush, what's our situation here?
It's my understanding that Mr. Pontius wants me to file a motion regarding the arrest.
All right. Before you logged in, we were discussing this. John proposed that we simply set this for a bench trial and a motion hearing at the same time. And I guess at that point, I would have it be under the county's flag because they filed a formal complaint. What's your thought about that, Mr. Pontius?
On having a bench trial and a discovery hearing at the same time?
Well, not a discovery hearing, but a motion to suppress. The officer would be there, you would be there. They could take all the testimony at the same time. And if your suppression motion prevails, then that's the end of it. If it doesn't, it would just then go on into a bench trial on the principal charges.
I don't think he could visually see my plate.
Well, I don't know anything about it.
Christopher, this isn't the time to discuss the merits. We're only talking the procedure.
Yeah, you've got a theory that you contended in a long letter to your lawyer, and you're certainly able to present that. But they had proposed just doing it all in one hearing. If this is set for a jury trial, it'll be substantially delayed. But that's up to you. You have a right to a jury trial. I can't do this unless you agree, set up for the motion and a bench trial at the same time. What's your
Yeah.
thought? That's acceptable to you?
This is the first I've heard of driving with no insurance charge.
Well, they filed a formal complaint, the prosecutor did. Well, that's important. Let's talk about that, Mr. Pontius. Driving suspended is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. That was written under city ordinance, and it was on a ticket. Apparently, you also had no insurance. At that time, you could not write no insurance on a ticket. You had to do it on a formal complaint.
Okay.
And so the Sturgis Police Department sent it to the prosecutor, and Ms. Davis authorized a formal complaint authorizing no insurance and the driving suspended charge. You can't get convicted of the same thing twice. But the no insurance is a serious charge. It's punishable by up to a year in jail, carries a minimum fine of $200 plus costs, which is the minimum fine is $325. So Ms. Davis offered to dismiss the no insurance if you were to plead to the driving suspended under the city ordinance. So we were discussing that, but you weren't even aware you'd been charged with a no insurance. So no wonder it didn't make sense. Do you want to discuss this privately with your lawyer?
No, I'm fine with taking it to the next step.
All right, so are you willing to have, we set this for a hearing on your motion to suppress and a bench trial at the same time?
If it can be done, yes.
All right,
I have a couple of questions, Your Honor.
all right.
What file is this, and who is going to be my prosecutor?
I propose, since there's a formal complaint, that the county prosecutor assume the entire case and the city attorney has been released. As I said, Mr. Pontius can't get convicted twice of the same thing.
Is that new complaint that Ms. Davis filed, is that under the old file number, or has that been assigned a new file?
It's in 2769.
Okay.
All right. I'll set it for an hour and a half.
I'll draft a simple motion outlining his issues and file it with the court and the prosecutor.
Set more than 30 days out, which shouldn't be a problem. All right, Mr. Pontius, you've been very good about checking in and calling. I left a message on your phone. I don't know if you got it. Are you still at lot 106?
Yeah.
All right. All right, if you change address or phone number, let your attorney know.
I've had no problem staying in touch with Mr. Pontius.
He's been pretty good. All right, Mr. Pontius, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, I think that's a good way to handle this. You're good to go, sir.
All right. Thank you much.
All right, I
I don't
think
know how to
we'll
get out of
get some progress. I'll get you out of here. I'll just hang up on you.
Okay. Oh, I see it.
Mr. Gibson has joined us, and I'm going to need Mr. Harris. Hello, Deputy Mooney. Judge Middleton calling. Can I see Kobe Harris down at the Polycom room or the arraignment room, whichever one's available?
Yeah, give me 1 minute. We're doing switch out with some stuff, and then
All right.
I'll bring him to the arraignment room.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Your Honor, were you able to determine if that 230 case is actually dismissed yet, so I can call her off?
Well, I plan to sign it.
Okay,
I
that's good enough for me.
I know quite a bit about it because I watched the hearing regarding the dog, and then I took a plea from Mr. Whittick, and my sense of it is he's the primarily responsible party, and I understand why they're dismissing this to your client, so
I'll contact her and tell her she does not need to appear today then.
All right, as soon as I find it.
Well, that's fine. That's good for me. So,
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
TJ, what else have you got left?
I got Mandy Allen.
Oh, yes. Now, she was in jail, but I let her out. She's set for 2.
I've tried to call her and I haven't been able to reach her.
What was she in custody on? She get some new charges.
She had a retail fraud case, I know, that we handled a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Let me see.
Because I've got her on the illegal entry on this one, Paul.
I gotta switch screens.
There's no restitution in the case that you have, is there, TJ?
No.
And it's just like a legal entry. Is that like trespass? But
Yeah, I mean,
Mandy Allen's not in custody right now.
No, she's not. I let her out.
Okay. What is this case?
mine is the one, Paul, where they found her in the garage with no shirt on and asked if she could come in to get a drink of water. Then, so they called the cops, and then she wouldn't come out of the bathroom. She locked herself in their bathroom and wouldn't come out.
Huh.
So
She,
I think she was homeless at the time of my case, which is actually fairly old. This is 8/31 of 20.
she was bound over on a methamphetamine charge on February 11th. But I've seen her since then, I believe. Let's take a look at this.
Right, I believe we did a larceny case back on the 30th, I believe, and we entered a plea on that thing.
Yes, I think
If she
that's...
shows up, Paul, we'll get this resolved. I mean, I'm not opposed to making her a deal to get this done. She has a lot of other things going on.
Or wait, maybe I might have been wrong on that date. I think it was... It was just a week ago, I guess, April 7th. We did this case. For retail.
Yeah, on April 7th, I gave her 2 days, credit 2 days. She owes quite a bit of money. It was an old complaint. She pushed some groceries out quite some time ago and just got picked up on it. So she's got a lot going on. She's got a felony case bound over. She just had that. I called her more than once, a sparrow in a hurricane. She's just kind of trying to make her way in the world. Do we have a number for her? She's not actually set until
Yeah, we're 7 minutes early.
2 o'clock, so she's not late yet. Well, Mr. Gibson, Judge Pattison let you out of the other Kobe Harris cases. I'm assuming he wants to have a different attorney in this case as well. So we'll make a brief record and then I'll get a different attorney for him. I asked Debbie this morning how much time we spend each day sitting here doing hurry up and wait, and I'm not sure how much that is, but I'd be like 3 years younger if I hadn't done so much of this.
Cuts into my billables.
I never had that problem. Now Debbie doesn't either.
True.
We had an issue this morning. We were about to get an inmate up here and they had some sort of a dissatisfied customer at the jail, so that held us up.
Yeah, I had a phone conference with a client out at the jail this morning, and I could hear in the background the dissatisfied customer.
Last week I told a story about how a lady threw a cup of coffee into a electric typewriter at the sheriff's department, and I said there was no one around that still remembered that story. And then I remembered that Roger Bird was a part of it, so I emailed Roger and he confirmed that.
What part of that story did he have?
Ray Dresser called him at 7 a.m. on Christmas morning and said, "You gotta get this lady out of jail."
I've heard this story.
I have not heard this story.
He happened to be someone of quite influence in the community.
So everything rolled downhill. She called her husband, he called Ray Dresser, Ray called Roger, Roger called Newbert. Roger's kids couldn't do their Christmas until he got that taken care of. So
That's why Andy's the way he is.
Well, yeah, because he missed a Christmas morning. I think there's more to that onion.
Earl told me a story about how, I think it was Matt, opened his Christmas presents early, got up, and he not only opened his, he opened everybody's presents. So Earl put him in the closet and shut the door for about 3 weeks.
The
Didn't get his
presents or the kid?
The presents.
Probably both.
Good afternoon, Mr. Harris. This is Judge Middleton. I asked to bring you up so I could talk to you about your case. This is file 21-67SM. This is the original domestic assault case that's alleged to have occurred on December 31st on Mary Lindsay. Paul Gibson is your attorney in that case, and in one of our earlier hearings you had indicated you wanted to have a different attorney appointed to represent you. And I know that in at least one case, Judge Pattison appointed a different attorney for you. Do you wish me to appoint a different attorney on this case as well?
If I can't sit with the prosecutor and come to a plea today, then yes, please.
Is there any opportunity? Well, the plea offer was plea to domestic violence. There is no plea offer, so it's not likely that you're gonna. Who was appointed as your new attorney on the felony case?
Bush, John Bush.
All right. You seem pretty good today, Mr. Harris. The last couple times I saw you, you're quite agitated, but right now you seem to be real doing fine. I like this version. How about if we go to April 29th at 4 o'clock? We'll continue this.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Harris, I'll see you then. You got some other cases coming up, but we'll excuse Mr. Gibson, appoint Mr. Bush, set it for April 29th at 4 p.m. That's the next available date. All right, thank you, Mr. Harris. You're good to go.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. All right, Paul, that takes care of your obligation in that case. Now we're waiting for Miss Allen. Paul, you indicated you've not had any contact with her?
Correct, I haven't, oh, sorry, hold on a second.
A pack of wolves just attacked his house.
My goats are quieter.
They in the house?
The baby is at my mom's, but just the one.
Oh, Debbie lives in the barn.
I would. It's quieter out there than my house.
Sorry about that. No, I last I had contact with her was when we had court.
Did April 7th?
I tried.
It's possible that she's confused because she had so many things.
Right, I tried to call her yesterday and I could not reach her. I left a message and I haven't heard back from her, and I did try to
Was
call
that
her.
at the last four numbers 1019?
Yes, that was the one I tried. It let me leave a message, but it didn't have any. I couldn't tell for sure I was leaving a message for her because it was like a generic thing about leaving a message.
It's this one, too.
I wonder when her circuit court, if that's got a court date, her felony case.
I don't think it does. She got bound over in February.
Well, and that's the thing, is I did mail her the notice for this, you know, back about a month ago, but she may not be at that same address because.
Well, I don't remember if we reminded her of it.
Right, I don't recall doing that. And she said she had just started a job at WSI.
I don't remember what she said. Let me try her number again, see what we get.
The TextNow subscriber you are trying to reach is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
Good afternoon. This is Judge Middleton calling from the bench for Mandy Allen. Miss Allen, you're supposed to have a pretrial this afternoon at 2 o'clock on an illegal entry charge with your attorney, Mr. Paul Gibson. I'm going to request that you call Mr. Gibson as soon as you get this message. Thank you. What I'll probably do is an order to show cause first rather than a bench warrant. A, the new rules may require it, and B, she may just be confused. TJ, you can go back to billable hours if she shows up.
If she shows back up, shoot me an email.
All right, thank
I'll
you.
be sitting at my desk all
Yeah,
afternoon.
if she calls me, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, let me know, Paul. Paul, because we can, I mean, if she shows up, get a hold of me. We'll get it worked out.
Okay,
All right, thanks.
thank you.
You bet.
All right, you guys are off the hook. It's back down to me and Debbie for our next case at 2:15. Paula, I think you're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was creepy.
Yeah, it was. I thought I hung up on that. All right. Excuse me, Sands. And then we've got Tim George's cases. And I don't know if we resolved anything today.
Not yet. Not the dismissal. That's resolved.
Well, that's the dog case dismissed. I told you before, Casey did a real nice job in that animal cruelty case.
Yeah.
We got excuse me, a bench warrant on Austin Shaw, who fails to appear for a pre-exam. Probably should have stayed connected to that room when I had it and had them brought them in right then, but I didn't have the foresight to, as long as we're sitting here waiting. This Sands case, I thought it would be an ordinance case, but that's yours, authorized by Lindsay. Happened in the village of White Pigeon, but I think. Well, we're off like a herd of turtles here. Good afternoon. Who am I speaking with?
Derek Sands.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sands. You're a minute late or so, but you're here. Your lawyer's not here yet. Let me dial him up.
I apologize, sir. I was having Zoom issues. I just got a phone and then it said I can't because I'm new signed in, so I just clicked and dialed in.
All right, very good. At least you're here. Let me see if I can get a hold of your attorney. Here he is. He's late too. All right, thank you. People are a bit late. We've been twiddling our thumbs, but we've got Derek Sands and we've got attorney Daniel Hartman. Good afternoon, Mr. Hartman.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
I'm here in Centerville and you're up in beautiful northern Michigan.
Snowed.
Deborah Davis. What?
It snowed yesterday.
Is there snow on the ground in Petoskey?
It went away. It rained late last night to cleanse the earth.
All right. Well, Deborah Davis is here from the prosecutor's office, and your client is here by telephone. This complaint alleges, let me pop it up here, that on or about November 18th of last year in the village of White Pigeon, Derek Martin Sands did make or excite a disturbance at the White Pigeon post office. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. What's our situation here?
Your Honor, I had a brief discussion with the prosecutor previously. I was going to ask if I could have a quick breakout session.
Sure.
Prosecutor.
Mr. Sands, let me put you in the waiting room. Don't go away. And I'll put Mr. Hartman and Miss Davis in the breakdown room. All right, I'll be right here.
Thank you.
Deputy Mooney, may I help you?
Oh, Deputy Mooney, sorry to bug you again. I should have done this when I had the room. Could I see Austin Shaw? I've got a polycom on him, and actually Mark needs to see him and Rob needs to see him, but if you can get him to either room, I'll take care of what I need to do with him here in just a minute.
All right, we'll do that.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Austin Shaw, a man of mystery.
Here it comes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shaw. This is Judge Middleton. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. I'm gonna get something to drink. Sorry about that. You got several cases in the works. This is file 202377FY. It charges possession of analogs. Your attorney in that case was Luke Knopfinger. You missed several court hearings, including a pre-exam conference. You had a couple different dates, and so you missed on 3/16. I need to get your case back on track. I'm gonna set a pre-exam conference for April 27th at 1.
All right, and I did hook up with Zoom and everything, but the last time when I went to get on Zoom and I talked to the judge, I think it was you I talked to, or it was the other judge.
It was Judge Patterson.
My dates were messed up.
Well, the problem is you didn't show up either day. And I tried to call your number, 7004, and Mr. Knopfinger hadn't heard from you either, so you just sort of fell off the radar. So I'm putting it back on the radar. You're set for pre-exam on April 27th at 9 o'clock. Preliminary examination, if needed, is set for May 4th at 1. You've also got some forgery and some driving suspended and some other things that the magistrate is going to see you on. Bond here is, what did I set it at? $10,000 cash or surety. All right, we got this case back on track. I'll let Mr. Knopfinger know that you're there. And you got to get arraigned on 2 more things today. I think the magistrate's going to see you and Judge Patterson. But this case is now set for April 27th at 9 o'clock in the morning for a pre-exam conference. Thank you. I did that Polycom while we were waiting. We return to the matter of Derek Sands. Mr. Sands is here by telephone. Deborah Davis is here from the prosecutor's office. Daniel Hartman is here from his office in Petoskey. Disturbing the peace is a simple misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. The defendant did post a $200 cash bond, which is very often what the fine is for disturbing the peace. The attorneys have had an opportunity to have a private conference. What's the status here?
Your Honor, my phone battery died and I had to recall in the middle of that conference. I apologize, Your Honor.
Do you need to talk again?
Just another 30 seconds, sir.
All right. Mr. Sands, stay with
Yes,
us.
sir.
You gotta start over. All right, let me assign Deborah Davis and Daniel Hartman. All right, Mr. Sands, I'll put you back in the waiting room. Don't go away.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what. I do know what. Allergies are causing me some loss of voice. Mm. 30 seconds generally means about 10 minutes. 5 minutes means a half an hour. Mm.
I'm in.
Mr. Sands, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I brought the attorneys back, or they came back from their discussions. I'll defer to you first, Mr. Hartman. What's the status here?
Your Honor, if the court would be willing to indicate a sentence in alignment with Cobb's, the court has hinted that oftentimes a fine and cost is the only thing. That would be something that would probably dispose of the case. I will indicate that the factual underlying case of the disorderly person is that Mr. Sands had a conflict with 3 postal employees. It's his version against their version, and there's an issue of factual dispute. And I do believe we could resolve the case rather than litigating those factual issues. But Mr. Sands and I have kind of talked about that. And
let me ask Ms. Davis. Normally, on a plea to this, the fine would be $200. I've got $200 of bond. Is that acceptable to the people?
If he's just simply going to plead as charged, we would leave it to the court's discretion, and that would be fine.
All right. Mr. Sands, if you plead to this charge, I've represented that I would fine you $200, $75 fine, a $50 state minimum fee, and a $75 crime victims' rights fee. I think I might have mixed them up. Anyway, that totals $200. You posted $200 of bond, so I'd use your bond to pay your fine. The case would be completed. Is that what you wish to do?
This will be fine, Your Honor. That is acceptable. Thank you.
Right. Let me tell you a few things you need to know. Your lawyer may have already told you this, but I'll tell you that if you plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury. If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. You've retained your own attorney. That's agreeable with us. You could have also asked to have had an attorney appointed to represent you. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand yourself and testify. I'm looking at you, but you're on the phone, so you can't see me anyway. You'd have a right to take the witness stand and testify, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify, and if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you. You have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court, and you would have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, there is an affidavit in this file. Apparently, you were upset with your mail carrier because you believed that she had damaged your mailbox. So you went into the White Pigeon Post Office to express your displeasure. Is that true?
That's only partly the truth, Your Honor. It was also to do with mailbox being left open, missing mail having to be replaced. Since the 11th of last year. But yes, I wanted to file a complaint, Your Honor. Didn't go well.
Derek, let's just, the purpose of pleading guilty is you're going to admit that your behavior created a disturbance to the public. And I'd like you to focus on your own issues, not what the other people did.
Well, I was just trying to make sure that it was,
I understand that. The reality is, Mr. Sands, you were upset because you wanted to file a complaint, and while at there, you didn't expect to have confrontation with the carrier. You were trying to, but there was, and as a result of that, you became inappropriate verbally, and some papers got knocked around, and you were creating a public disturbance. Is that all true?
Pretty much, yes. I was just trying to entail all reasons.
Yes or no, sir? Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's good. I'm gonna fine you $75, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee. $200, $200 of bond. According to the affidavit, you were a total horse's ass in there in the post office. Had it not been for this plea agreement, I probably would have put you in jail for a couple of days just to think about how profane you were in there and the things that you said to that lady who has to deliver your mail every day. But I'll abide by the offer that was made and the Cobb's agreement that I did. You've already been trespassed from the post office, but may not enter the White Pigeon post office for 1 year.
Hello?
All right. Yes, that's it. I took your bond money. You can't go in the post office for a year. Your lawyer wisely tried to keep you from saying any more to talk yourself into a jail sentence. But I don't in any way approve of what I read in the affidavit here. But this matter is completed. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oops, I almost removed you. When somebody else removes it, it jumps down, and then I hit the button and I kick out the wrong person. Now we've got Tim on the 245.
Okay.
Excuse me. That guy was wise to take that plea.
Yeah.
Now, I printed that email that Tim sent me, and I don't know what I did with it. Here it is. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge. How you doing?
Good. Debbie's here with me. We've entered the Tim George portion of our afternoon. We're about right on time here. Your first matter is Nathan Folks, file 202152. You sent an email earlier to Debbie and I indicating you didn't get notice for this hearing. We sent it out. It's a domestic violence charge. You have a status conference in circuit court for May 4th. You asked that we reset this for after May 4th for another last pretrial. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. And just to kind of give the court some information on the record, Mr. Folks has been in contact with my office. We didn't have a notice in our file, so I wasn't aware that we had a pretrial with Mr. Folks today until we got the offer sheet from the prosecutor's office. And when I spoke to Mr. Folks yesterday, I noted to him that the next hearing date that we had was a status conference on May 4th. Regardless, I think the offer is contingent on the outcome of his felony case. So I think that it would make sense at this point to set it for a last pretrial after May 4th.
You're set to be here at 2 o'clock on May 6th. Would that work?
If I'm already here, Your Honor, we can make that work.
All right. Reset last pretrial for 5/6 at 2 p.m. We'll double up, but that'll be all right. What's his circuit court case?
It's a possession of methamphetamine case.
Okay. We'll set that for May 6th. Let me write it in here. Lana Latoski is not set till 3:15, so we'll wait and see whether she shows up. As I indicated, I spoke to her this morning and told her to log in. The next case actually up is Daniel Gary, trespass. He has a bound over felony on a quirky home invasion charge. What do we know about that one?
He's also set for a status conference on the 4th, Your Honor. So it may make sense to just reset him for the 6th. I think we could probably get something done to resolve everything.
Miss Davis did the prelim in that case. My hope was that she would get hired by the prosecutor so she'd get to handle that case at trial.
Sometimes
And
wishes do come true.
my wish came true. And all right, we'll wait and see whether he logs in. So now we've got dead air until 3 and 3:15. Then we have Dylan Moon, which is a driving case. What's the status of that one?
I believe the offer is the same as it was at pretrial, but I haven't had a lot of luck getting in contact with it.
Well, we're just gonna sit here for a while. I did a polycom in the middle. We had a lot of dead air today. I told Debbie, I think aged 3 years, just sitting here waiting for the next hearing now in the Zoom world we're in.
Well, I've got to sneak over and get some of the afternoon arraignments done with Mark at some point as well.
Let's see. What time is Latoski?
I think
How many
she's
do you
scheduled
have?
for 3:15, Your Honor. I believe we have 4.
For Mark?
Yeah. But
Why
as you know,
don't
Your
you-
Honor, they generally go pretty quick.
Yeah, why don't you go do that and,
Okay. I plan on just blacking out my screen, so if you need me, I could pop in if you need me to.
okay, that'll work. All right, thanks.
Oh.
All right, Debbie,
Was his camera and sound not?
well,
It looked like it was off.
no, he was on a delay. I think I saw that in Green Acres once. They would move their lips and then they hit him in the head and then their sound would sync up. Maybe we needed to hit him in the head, but no.
Send
his
TJ in
lips
to
were
do it.
moved. And then I'm gonna go get a throat lozenge, so I'll be back.
Oh, good. All right. I'll be waiting.
All right.
Danielle Gerard wants to know when she can get her bond money back. She's the one that's going to
Yeah,
dismiss.
where's the Nolly cross?
I don't.
It's in the, somewhere between
Okay,
the prosecutor's office and here.
All right, let's
As soon as I sign it, she can get her bond money back.
Okay.
In that animal cruelty case that's being dismissed, prosecutor has prepared an order of dismissal, but we're trying to track it down. She'd like to get her bond money back, and it takes a formal order of dismissal to do it. She posted a $500 bond. We refer to them commonly as a nolle pros. I think the Latin term is nole proseque. I'm not sure what it means. No charge, I guess. Anyway, it's going to be dismissed, and when I sign that, she'll be able to get her bond back. And we're trying to track it down. You said Casey had signed it?
John said Casey had signed it, but I don't see one anywhere. It could be that it was a paper copy he signed, so I'm emailing his staff right now to see if they can track it down.
Well, if we don't, maybe we could make a new one. She's got $500 bond that I think she could probably use. I think this is Mr. Gary. He's in Galaxy A10, as I recall. It's a little blurry in that Galaxy. Good afternoon, Mr. Gary.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Your lawyer is in with a magistrate right now. I told him you'd be here shortly. You always show up on time. Let me give you a name here. All right, I'm gonna put you in the waiting room for a few minutes. Your lawyer is talking with the magistrate. So you're in the right spot. You got better at this. We struggled when we were first doing this, but I think you got it down now. So I'll put you in the waiting room and I'll see you in a bit, all right? Well, we dismissed one, we pled one. We haven't set any new jury trials, that's a plus. We're on the home stretch. 1, 2, 4. I think Tim may have been a little optimistic about how much he had to do with Mark, but
I didn't see the names on the arraignment, so I'm not sure what he has.
I hope you guys are okay while I'm gone.
Oh, have to.
I'm sure as well.
Find something to do all week.
I'm sure there'll be plenty to do. You just won't have to be in here. I turn off the live feed, but it's such a travail to get it all back up and running.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it. And I will shut off the record.
Diana is checking for me on that Gerard Nally.
If we can't find it, we can always generate another one. Well, Miss Latosky is the one I woke up this morning. So we'll see how she's doing this afternoon. Maybe we should set these closer together.
Yeah,
So-
honestly, you're not gonna set prelims far apart. These are,
Yeah, we're setting, maybe just set them like 4 for 2, and because then you settle one, you've got dead time in between. So I think
Yeah.
maybe we'll revisit how we do these. Here's Lana Latoski.
or even just setting the individual attorneys at a certain time even.
Yeah,
So they usually have more than one.
I think that might make some sense. Hello again, Ms. Latoski. Your attorney is in with a magistrate right now, but you're in the right spot. I'm gonna put you in the waiting room, okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, you're in the right spot. You seem a little
Okay.
more awake now. I'll see you in a
Earlier.
Yes, I think, like we'd said. Yes, because it stretches it out. And if we just went from case to case, then the lawyers complain because they have to sit there and wait for their turn, but
No. We used to sit and wait all together in person, so
sit on a
not
hard
that different.
bench.
Now they can just turn their camera off, their mic off, and multitask. So
We have certainly,
they found the Nale for Gerard. It was done yesterday. It's in the inner office mail. They're taking it down to district court. So there you go. Mystery solved. The carrier pigeon is on their way.
we've had a run of mental health cases at the jail.
I saw an incident report today for one that
There are several. It said this place is turning into a mental hospital rather than a jail. The deputies are doing the best they can. But we had several, and Lisa's been quite a help to us. But there's a couple more. The man from yesterday that damaged all the tombs and the school, and
I think I know who you're talking about, and that's the one that I was talking about. But there was his parent called in and said that he's not getting his meds. And so our staff called out to the jail and told the parent, take the meds out there. That's part of the problem. If they don't bring in their medications, then it takes time to confirm that they have them, that they have a prescription, that they've been taking them. So I get it, but some of those meds you can't just stop cold turkey or you're going to have a lot of problems.
that's
So hopefully they get them straightened out.
we're gonna be stuck here until 3:30 when he comes back.
Well, I'll do a couple other things. So I'm here if you need me.
All right, thank you. Is she here?
No.
She must have come get her $500. I don't blame her.
All these are done now?
Mhm. Couple of them. Where do we put that? $513 at 2. Oh, there, I put it in there.
All right.
Have that whole pile.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
tedious meeting. I'm just checking in with both of you to, oh, here's Mr. George now.
I can take Mr. Gary first, Your Honor.
All right. Well, let me turn things back on here. Ms. Latosky is with us also. She's out in the wind. The first matter we're going to address is People versus Daniel Gary, file 202592. Mr. Gary, you're charged with kind of an odd trespass on your bicycle. You have a felony home invasion case in file 202026, which is set for a status conference on the 4th of May in the circuit court. Mr. George requests that we continue this until after that date. So I've gone to May 6th at 3:45. Tim, I think I'll do Nathan Folks at 3:30 rather than 2.
Okay.
And then we'll do Gary at 3:45. Mr. Gary, that other home invasion case that involved that apartment, Mr. George represents you on that. They're trying to work out a package deal to take care of this case and that case. Do you have any objection if I adjourn this till February 6th at 3:45?
May 6th?
May 6th. I don't know where you got January. Do you have any objection to that, Mr. Gary?
May 6th
Yes, at
3:45.
And you'll be talking with your lawyer before that, 2 days before, on May 4th. That may resolve this case, perhaps. All right. So you did a good job. I'm sorry you had to wait, but we had to wait for Mr. George to take care of some other important business. Anyway, we'll reset this for May 6th at 3:45. All right, you're good to go. Thank you. Just contact your lawyer. All right, Ms. Latosky, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Mr. George is here with us. You also have another case that I ran you on this morning, a new felony methamphetamine case, and that is set for, I think, April 27th. Mr. George asked that we set this for that time. The problem is you'll be real busy at that time. And
well, I think it would make sense, Your Honor, because this ticket stems from the same incident. So this one is kind of ahead of the felony at this point. And obviously the felony charge, in our view, is a little bit, takes higher precedence at this point. So we'd like to address that, hopefully address this at the same time.
All right, I believe that's April 17th or 27th at 9 a.m.
April 17th is on a Saturday.
April 27th. I've been misstating the month, the day, getting a little loopy here at the end of the day, I guess. April 27th is the date I gave you this morning, isn't it?
Yes.
So we'll set this at the same time as your new case, which is April 27th at 9 a.m. Now, you need to contact your lawyer. It works out that Mr. George ends up representing you on both cases, which is helpful. Is that snow on your window?
No. I'm outside.
Okay, I thought I saw some snow. All right. I thank you for waiting for us, but you need to contact your lawyer. We're going to try to deal with both matters together on April 27th at 9 a.m. I'll be the judge that day, so I'll be back. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, you're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we've done a little kicking the can down the road. Now, our next customer is Dylan Moon. What do you know about that one, Tim?
I have not been able to have contact with Mr. Moon.
Well, let's see if we can dial him up here. Good afternoon. This is Judge Middleton calling for Dylan Moon. Yeah, he's got a court hearing this afternoon at 3:30 and he's not here, and he could be subject to a bench warrant. So he needs to contact his attorney immediately. Do you know how to get a hold of him? Do you know how to get a hold of him?
I do not. I can try and get a hold of him and see what I can do.
All right, well, Dylan, you talk to yourself and tell yourself to call your lawyer. Mr. George is waiting to talk to you. You don't want to get a bench warrant for your arrest. All right, thank you. I think that was him. Good night, Moon. Good night, comb. Good night, brush.
I prefer Blue Moon. Like
Good
the
night,
ice cream.
nobody. Good night, mush.
I used to know that story. Tim, you should know that story. You're in that parenting time frame.
phase. Do you know Good Night, Moon?
I do not.
Something's
parent
wrong
are
with your
you?
sig- Yeah, you're in
Good
Sturgis or something.
Lord.
Your lips move and then the sound comes out.
And you don't know Goodnight Moon.
And you don't know Good Night, Moon. We'll take care of that.
All right.
Do you
Good
want
night,
to try to
Good-
call him yourself, Tim? Or
I tried to call him earlier today.
oh,
Did you dial
Didn't
a
have anything.
2748 number?
Yes.
that's weird.
Well, we'll sit aside for a minute. We'll have to do a show call.
Your Honor, can I go into a breakout room with Miss Davis in advance of 3:45?
Yes, certainly. I'll just sit here by myself again, which I've been doing a lot of today, contemplating deep thoughts.
Did you sign this over there in the breakout room, Judge?
Yeah, I'm just warming this chair. My body's conformed to the shape of this chair. Well, good, he needs to go down there and deal with what he needs to deal with. It's a very serious charge.
It's not a probation violation, I think. I recall, but it was a serious charge, yeah.
We are down to our last case, unless Mr. Moon calls in. And that's not looking real good for the last case of the time being here. Good afternoon, Mr. Warren. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, you're in the right spot. This is Judge Middleton. I'm here in the court in Centerville. Your lawyer and the prosecutor are talking right now. So you're properly logged in. I'm going to put you in the waiting room, and they should be back with me any minute, and I'll bring you back in.
Okay.
Tim, your client is here.
Okay.
Echo. It's weird.
I don't know what's going on with it today. TJ's probably using up all the bandwidth down there.
That's a good guess. Welcome back, Mr. Warren. Now that's how I've always said your name, Warren. Is that how you say it?
Yes, Warren, that's correct.
All right. You're Joshua Warren, and your lawyer, Mr. Tim George, is here, and the prosecutor, Deborah Davis, is here. The allegation is that on or about December 27th, you possessed a firearm while you were intoxicated, and they also charge you with child abuse in the 4th degree. Let me go from the actual complaint. Doesn't say what the firearm was. That you created, in the child abuse, you created an unreasonable risk of harm by possessing a handgun while intoxicated and arguing with a minor child. So the first one is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and not less than $100 and not more than $500 if you discharge the firearm. The weapon must be forfeited under the statute. Child abuse 4th is a 1-year misdemeanor with probation now for up to 2 years as the law changed. The parties have been discussing this matter. I'll defer to you first, Mr. George. What's the status here?
Your Honor, Ms. Davis and I had the opportunity to speak about this a little more. I think we've been kind of negotiating back and forth about possible resolutions. We already have a couple of matters that are going to be set for the 6th. We would ask that this be set for that date so the prosecutor can do some further investigation on their part, and I can also speak to my client about his options as it relates to possible outcomes.
What kind of gun are we talking about?
It was a Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm.
All right, it sounds like a nice gun. If you're convicted of the firearm charges, the gun has to be destroyed. The state police grind them up into little metal shavings.
Yes, I figured.
Do you have any objection to continuing this matter to May 6th at 4 p.m.? That's going to be a very busy day. Is that acceptable to you?
Yes, I'll have to work it out with my work schedule, but that would be fine.
Where do you work?
International paper, 3 of us.
They work different shifts. What shift are you on?
I'm on second shift right now, so 3 to 11 p.m.
So
You want
are
to try to
you-
set this on a Friday morning pretrial instead?
That would work.
I wouldn't have any issue with that. Yeah.
May 14th, 21 at 10 a.m. That's also going to be a very busy day, but all right, they're working on this. I'm not sure all it entails in it. All I know is what I read in the bond information report, which isn't much.
Turner, just for my clarification, is there any sort of no contact that was a part of the bond condition in this?
No.
I think he got a notice to appear. Bond posted, bond conditions. Let's take a look. No alcohol. They did not do no weapons, no assaultive behavior, but this happened on December 27th. Well, it came in the next day. She didn't do a bond, no contact provision. Do you want to speak to that further?
No, I just, when Tim and I were talking, I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't something that we were missing. I do need to speak with his wife. So if there's a phone number, Tim, that you could get me from your client and email me, that would be helpful. We can hopefully move this along then.
I can give that. Like,
oh, I don't want you to give it to me right now. So just send it to Tim and he can email it to me.
Now, there's the Warren, are you the same family as the twin brother and sister, a little older than you?
No. I only have one sister.
What's her name?
It's Jennifer Riopel now.
Okay, that's what I thought. Are you the one that wrote the book?
No, it's not.
For some reason, I thought that you and she were twins, but I guess
We
not.
look similar.
Well, you went to school with my kids, and you were in Luke's grade, I think, and she was in Alex's grade. All right, then you're the guy I'm thinking of. All right, don't do any more dumb stuff between now and the 14th of May at 10 a.m. We've reconfigured this so you won't have to miss work, and I'll see you at that time. If you have any questions, call your lawyer.
Okay.
And I'll give you a call, Josh.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, now we have Mr. Goodnight Moon there. He didn't call in, to my knowledge. Did he call your office, Tim?
I haven't received anything from the staff.
I have to, let me see here if he's missed before.
I think we've only been up one other time on him.
I have to do an order to show cause. I'm not sure I wasn't talking to Dylan Moon, but I don't know. Okay, it's 5 to 4. I think we finished everything that they gave us to do. Is there anything else we need to do here?
I don't believe so. Thank you for your patience.
But I really don't know what's going on with your video, but it's disconcerting.
Sorry, Tim.
It was in some, maybe it was Gilligan's Island where they weren't synced and they had to like whack them in the head and get their audio and video linked up. So we were gonna ask TJ to come in and, all right, we got done what we needed to do, although we certainly kicked a lot of cans down the road. I'll see you both on the 27th of April. I hope you're okay until then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, that concludes our busy afternoon, our day, and our week. We're going to end the live feed.